Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Two Qs in a Pod, joined by my co-host John Webb. How we living today, friend?
We're living great. We're fresh off a bye week. We're feeling good. We're excited for the rejuvenation that we received over the weekend and ready to go into this one.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Gotta love a home team coming off a bye week with a big game. Obviously, they've been getting their minds right. They know this is a must-win if they have any intentions on making the playoffs. So, would love to see them come out firing. Got to start fast. But nonetheless, It was a great weekend last weekend for football. As any other weekend in fall, it was a tremendous time to be in front of TV watching some ball.
Yeah, it was a great weekend. A lot of good matchups. Some interesting games I thought over the weekend. That Georgia Auburn game was interesting to say the least. Auburn, I feel bad for them. They absolutely dominated the first half of that game, like truly dominated. Should have been 17-0, no doubt. And I've never seen a team fall apart in a way that, they couldn't get a first down. They couldn't run the ball. I don't think they scored in the second half. And
have you ever watched Tennessee play football?
Sure, I have seen Tennessee play football once or twice.
They do that often.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, let's hope that they do it November 25th or whatever that game is. But
yeah, that would be great.
But
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a really tough loss. I feel like that's been Auburn's MO all year long. It was just unfortunate breaks. Each loss, I think there's been a significant individual play that has cost them the game. If you want to call it the sneak right before halftime, that whether he was fumbling it or not, nonetheless, it should have been 6 for Auburn, and instead it turned into 3 for Georgia. So instead of it being 17-0, it's 10-3 at half. I think that was a huge play and just a momentum swing for everybody in that Georgia locker room. So myself was on Georgia. I was glad to be there. Kind of lucky in that one. But my favorite play and game of the day to watch was the Indiana Hoosiers on the road at Oregon. What a beautiful cover and win.
So much fun. That was great. That was a blast. I was happy to get to enjoy that with you. There weren't many moments in that game where we were terrified for our number, and we felt like we could compete with them. I still think Oregon's good, but I think Indiana might be real, man. I don't know. I still think it's, for some reason, it's really hard to judge this early in the season. I say that with half the season gone, but I don't know who's good and who's not. But I think Indiana's good.
Yeah, no, I think Indiana's great. Mendoza is a good quarterback. He is projected a top pick at the next level. I think it's Indiana, Ohio State. They're head and shoulders better than everybody else in that conference, and so that'll be a fun championship game if they get to meet.
Yeah,
I don't know if they play in the regular season. I don't think they do. So
they usually don't. Big Ten hates to schedule good matchups during the season, so usually there are very few big games, but. Don't worry, they get unranked Penn State on the road, so that actually
without a coach.
Probably will without a coach and a quarterback. But nonetheless, they don't play any other ranked teams the rest of the year. It's just an easy schedule. I feel bad for the Big Ten for the rap that they get because everyone's all SEC bound, and I get it. But at the same time, like, you look at a schedule like this, and Indiana's likely going to go undefeated now. They played 2 ranked teams the whole year, one of which was Illinois. Come on now. The other one of which was Oregon on the road, which is great. But how do you go through a schedule with only playing 2 ranked teams, one of which will probably end the season as ranked? It's just tough, and that's the hard part about the Big Ten. But
yeah,
I digress. I put a lot of SEC teams in the Big Ten. And I think it makes it harder. It doesn't mean that those teams are elite and those teams would win the Big Ten. I don't think that's right. But I think that every week in the SEC, the football game is hard. No matter who you play, it's not easy.
Agreed.
So that's my 2 cents there. But going to the SEC, which is strange to say, the SEC matchup
in the Red River,
was that the easiest? We both loved that. That was our silver and gold pick. We were fired up about it. I can say everybody who tailed us was probably thinking we're crazy. I got a few texts from people saying when it was 6-0 and Texas couldn't do anything, it's like, this is the team you decided to back. We knew they were terrible, and we said just wait.
It's a numbers
game.
game.
And we came out of there with an easy win in the second half. So Texas, great bounce back. Arch looked better. I actually think he played a good game. They can't protect very well. That is still a thing. Defense looked better, but that was a good win for us. That was a great 2:30 slate.
It was followed by Alabama, Missouri, which was another phenomenal game. That was early, ended just in time. Alabama won, Missouri covered, kind of your typical Vegas. That's what they preferred.
Great line.
And then later, that 2:30 slate as well was Arkansas-Tennessee. It was phenomenal cover by Arkansas. Really brutal beat not to win, but we'll get to them this week, and I think I'll be on the Razorbacks once again.
When are you not? I love it.
Big Taylor Moore guy. I'll tell you what, John, we had a phenomenal weekend. It was a great time. Got to watch football together, but at the end of the day, it was 11 p.m. I'm sitting on my couch, and I have a chance to win a lot.
Don't talk to me about it. Don't talk to me about it. Are we talking about Arizona?
Yeah.
I was going to get to it. I was going to say there were a few really bad beats of the weekend, and I mean bad beats.
That was bad.
This one's
really
hurt. Bad. You're sitting there with an Arizona +3 ticket, and they're up 7 in regulation, and I feel like
they're up 10 with 4 minutes to play.
Yeah, they're in control pretty much the whole game. I looked at it because I just wanted to see how confident should I be in them winning this game. And I believe they were minus 29.50. So you're feeling pretty good. I will say this, and I hate to blame referees for anything. I think that was the most one-sided, brutally called last 6 minutes, including overtime.
Yes.
A PI on 4th and goal when it was not PI at all.
Atrocious.
Atrocious. Criminal. And then, of course, Arizona gets ball first in overtime, which when you're thinking you have a team just to cover, you have +3, +2.5. I don't care what you have. When you get to overtime and you score a touchdown, you are safe. They scored a touchdown, and it was called back for a phantom hold. The crew tried to go and they tried to show every lineman and find where it was, every receiver. They couldn't find it.
There wasn't a hold.
And then you kick a field goal, and it's just exhausting. That's really the only way to put it. And then we did a great job holding them to a field goal, but then they go score a touchdown, and then you're sitting really not pretty, but at least it is. All we have to do is Arizona. You're down 6 in the second overtime. They don't get the 2-point conversion. You're like, man, if we score a touchdown, you're guaranteed to cover. And to not score just hurt. It hurt.
Yeah, it hurt.
But I digress.
That's enough. Yeah, that's enough of that. We can move on to the NFL. Saturday was phenomenal. Sunday was a great day. Starting off, I mean, I took the day pretty light just because of how good of a Saturday it was. But Panthers at home, I said not to bet it. I didn't really bet it. I had Carolina in a few parlays, which was ultimately nice that they ended up victorious. But outside of that, I mean, it was kind of your MO. I was the Niners away from having a really big day. Bengals did their job and covered. Chiefs were free on Sunday night against the Lions. So we can go on about what happened on this weekend, or we can continue to move forward and win some more money this coming weekend. I'll let you decide.
Yeah, well, I'll just give a quick. I had a very great NFL Sunday. I think unfortunately, I didn't play many of them just because I was a little busy. Took a few of them, but Giants was an excellent, easy fade the public Thursday night win, straight up win. Jacksonville looked great. I think last week we talked about Seahawks on the road were somehow favored against the 4-1 Jags. I think we agreed that Seahawks was the right play. We also agreed Panthers was the right play, though we thought the Cowboys were the better team. It didn't really touch it that much. But then the afternoon was phenomenal. The Titans will never cover a game, I don't think, again. So that one we won't really talk about. But Bucks, to me, was a good winner. Sorry, I was on the other side. Bengals was a great cover. Chiefs was an easy winner at night. Falcons are a really easy winner on the next night. I mean, fading the public has worked, and the Bears too. Fading the public has worked to a try. I mean, it's gone exactly how you would expect it to go. It
went exactly as last year's opposite.
Yeah, it's the opposite of last year. You knew they were going to get their money back. They always get their retribution. Those lights stay on for a reason in Vegas.
Yeah, so, and I think people are probably betting even more than they were last year when they were winning. And I've seen like things all over the internet about how the NFL is rigged now, and so I mean it would make sense. Like Vegas is trying to get their money back. Last year, the public absolutely crushed. So sure, if they're going to fix the game, it's called being smart and just joining the fix. Get on the right side.
It's a for-profit business. People forget that. So I don't care what happened. I don't care if it is or is not. I don't need to know. I just need to know that I'm on the right side. So
right.
Yeah, that's it for me. Let's hop into this week. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so For this week, I am going to start with a game that probably most people won't watch, but it just fits our MO super well. I honestly want to make this. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm switching it around. My bronze pick, just because I don't want people to think I'm too biased, but I've got to go with Vandy at home, favored against LSU. Sean, I'm going to let you tell the listeners when the last time Vanderbilt was favored in an SEC game.
Yeah, November of 2018, which ended a 51, I believe, game streak of non-favorites against conference opponents. So therefore, that means roughly once in the last 7 years.
I want everybody to digest that. That is outrageous. That means that one time over the last 12 years, I believe, something like that, Vanderbilt has been favored.
And
And
note,
I would just like to
Vanderbilt,
say that one
yeah,
time they won. It was an easy
a
win
lot,
against Tennessee.
by a lot.
Yeah.
Therefore,
So
follow the trend. Vanderbilt is favored. It's an anomaly. Hammer it.
hammer it.
I'm with
I mean,
you.
I'll say this: the sharps are on this side. I imagine the public may end up being on LSU, but this is what happens when you get an underdog story like Diego. Everyone's going to start piling on to him. They all want to believe that. So the sharps and the public may agree on this one. I have no idea, but I'm going with the sharps. I'm going with Vandy.
Yeah, I'll be on that as well. We'll be in attendance. I'll get the W done for you.
Yeah.
I love that as a bronze pick. I honestly wish we had more than 3 picks this week because I do like a lot. I'll go ahead and get us started. My bronze pick is Washington plus 5.5. I bought it up to 7.5 just for comfort. I parlayed it every which way possible that you can imagine. But I think that they'd certainly cover 5.5 and definitely have a chance to win outright money line. So as for my bronze pick, go ahead and take the Washington Huskies on the road at Michigan.
Yeah, you know me. I like that Washington team. I like their offense. They did not show it against Ohio State. They did not show it in the first half last week, but they showed it in the second half against Rutgers. So I like Washington's team. I don't disagree with you on that one. For my silver pick, I'm going to go to the game I was mentioning that no one's going to be watching at 11 a.m., but we will. That is to the Duke Blue Devils at
Yes.
home against. So 4-2 Duke. Obviously, we've taken them a handful of times here. One time it worked, one time it didn't. They're playing undefeated ACC likely winners, Georgia Tech. That is
And they're underdogs. Georgia Tech is underdogs.
1.5 point spread in the favor of the Duke Blue Devils. I mean, look, I don't like cheering for anything that has a devil in it. I'll be honest, but this weekend I'm going to be cheering for Duke, and it's going to be
It's
an
a blue,
easy
though. Yeah.
silver. Yeah, it is. It is blue, but I don't like any of them.
Fair.
We don't like any of those, but we will support their football team, and we will take them straight up money line minus 120. Take to the bank.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to make that my silver pick, so I can say that I'll be on that side as well. I really like Duke, as you know, and the listeners know. We've been on them multiple times this year to be favorites against a team that's undefeated, and I honestly think Georgia Tech has just gotten lucky. Yes, they are 5-0, and it's tough to be 5-0, and so yes, you have to be a good football team. But again, I think they're due for a loss, and this is a perfect spot for Duke to win the game. So I'll be on Duke.
Yeah.
But as for my silver pick, I will be going and taking the Arkansas Razorbacks at home plus 7.5. They're playing Texas A&M. I mentioned this in our recap. I really, really like this Razorback team. I like Taylor Green. They all have a clean plate now because Pittman is gone. So I feel like that sometimes a locker room can go 2 ways. You get people who are all hitting the portal and nobody cares in the locker room, or you also have guys who maybe weren't on the top of the coach's list, and now that coach is gone, and so now they don't have to think about that, and they can play freely. And I think that's a dangerous team. A team that's at home. Arkansas is tough to play. 7.5 is a lot, and I just feel like A&M is due to drop a bad game. So I'll be on the Razorbacks plus 7.5, and again, I'll be on the money line.
Yeah, you know how I agree. As somebody who has watched a lot of A&M games, have a lot of friends who went there, and actually really do like the team. I have seen year in and year out, they will lose a lot of games that right when people think they are good, right when they think they have a chance to compete for the SEC and maybe go to the playoff, is right when they start letting people down. So I think just from history, I think you're not wrong there. However, I love Marcel Reed. I like that A&M team a lot. I think they're good. I'll say this. Arkansas is considered a bad team, correct? In
Correct.
terms of
Yeah.
how they're playing this year, they're not
They're 2 and
necessarily a
4.
good team. But there's nothing more enjoyable than betting on a bad team with a great offense. And I think that Taylor Green has I think they are a good offense. They can beat anybody. Their defense, we won't talk about that part. But it's just nice to know that if the other team scores, you have a chance to combat that. So that's one. Two, this is the first time in a long time this game is not being played at a neutral site. It always is one of the most well attended games of the year at Cowboy Stadium and Dallas, but
Yeah.
this year it's back at home for Arkansas, and I think that
It's a
it's
big
going to
deal.
be wild there. So
Yep.
it's unfortunate it's not a late kickoff because I think that would make it even crazier.
Yeah, I wish
But
it was a night game.
it is what it is. I think that you're on the correct side there. 2:30 is still good. They get plenty of time to get rowdy beforehand. But
Yeah.
I like that pick.
Honorable mention. I'm not going to give this as my silver pick just because it's not a numbers play. It's not a against the spread play. It's just I've watched ball and I've bet on Wisconsin a lot this year. So I would advise anybody out there who's listening to take Ohio State to cover, maybe win by 40 plus money. Wisconsin's really bad. Ohio State is really good, and I think Wisconsin's going to struggle to move the ball. So this game very well could end up being 35-7 or something along those lines. And so I would advise you taking the Buckeyes against Wisconsin at Camp Randall. But anyways, on to your gold pick. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I'm not going to have a play in that game. I would refuse to watch Wisconsin ever again. My gold pick is an interesting one. I am going to take, unfortunately, another Devil. This one's a Sun Devil in Tempe, Arizona. Arizona State at home, 4-2 Arizona State playing undefeated Texas Tech, who Texas Tech has been a wagon. They're undefeated
They
against
look
the
great.
spread. They've looked wonderful. I know that Arizona State obviously got slaughtered last weekend. I believe they threw in the towel. They did not start Sam Levitt, who is, if you can have somewhat of a Heisman somewhat contender, he definitely was on that list going into this year after an awesome freshman year. But he was out last week, and everything I'm seeing is that it was precautionary. They knew that they had to win one of these two games, and they're choosing Texas Tech at home. Texas Tech has a great defense. They've got a pretty good offense. Their quarterback got hurt last week. I actually do not know the severity of it. I do not care about the severity of it. I am taking
Backup's
Arizona
pretty
State. He did play well. I think they only.
He's come in twice now this year.
Yes, he has against Utah.
He's a really
early
good
in the year,
athlete.
and then this one, he's a great athlete. They only ran the ball pretty much the whole second half, and somehow it worked. We won't talk about how bad that was for Kansas, but Arizona State is a better team than Kansas is, and I think that they will compete. I think it'll definitely stay under a touchdown. I think the spread, at least as of right now, was around 8.5. It was at 10.5 earlier. I got a little bit there, but I don't care what the number is. Over a touchdown, take it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I'll also be on the Sun Devils. Bumping it up for my gold pick. So this team really, really cost me a lot earlier in the season. Might have even been 2 weeks ago. They were one of my biggest plays, and they are my biggest play again this weekend. This will unlock quite the potential for a phenomenal weekend, and it is the night game, or I should say 6 o'clock kick tomorrow. Louisville Cardinals on the road at Miami. Give me them plus 13.5. If you're for buying the hook, I've bought it to 14 just in case something weird happens. But again, they're a team that is 1-5 maybe against the spread, but a good team. And I just feel like this is a big, big letdown game for Miami. They're 5-0. They're number 2 in the country. They use back, and then all of a sudden they have a bad loss. So I will be on the Louisville Cardinals plus 2 touchdowns as well as a little sprinkle on money line. So that is my gold pick this week.
Yeah, I don't hate that either. I think I told you I was in agreement with Louisville, so that is a good play. I don't think there are many games this weekend that we are on opposite sides, which is always a good place to be. So excited for it.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a tremendous Saturday. We'll be in attendance for the doors, and we'll get that done. And then the rest of Saturday will be glorious.
Yep, love it. Love it.
On to professional ball. Let's hear your takes, thoughts.
Yeah, so we start with a great divisional matchup tonight. Obviously, we wish it were fully healthy, but it's not. We have the Steelers visiting the Bengals. Joe Flacco just got there middle last week, and he's already about to play his second game, and he's been there for less than a week. So if there's anybody who can adapt, we haven't talked about it. We think he can. This is it's a tough one because I love the Steelers team, and I really love Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback of that team. I'm going to have to go with just what has gotten us to this point, and if it loses eventually, it's going to lose. But I will be on the Bengals
Fading
tonight.
the public. Yes.
They need. I mean, you think about their upcoming schedule, which I looked at their upcoming schedule as a Joe Burrow and T Higgins owner in fantasy football. I'm anxious about Joe's return, and they're going to have to win a lot of football games for Joe to even come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at their
Starts
schedule.
tonight.
It starts tonight at home against Pittsburgh. Their next two games are fairly easy. You get the Jets and the Bears, and then
they're playing
after that. It's terrible.
I was going to say they're playing the potential division favorite as of today. Baltimore's 1-4 or whatever. Pittsburgh is likely to win the division. So again, if you win this game tonight, like all bets are off the table. This is Cincinnati's very much in the hunt, and Joe is coming back. So again, I think they have that mindset. They understand that that's what it's going to take tonight. So, I'll be on the Bengals with you.
I agree. Which everybody in your free time, please go look up the Bengals' remaining schedule and what they've already played. I think it is the hardest NFL schedule I've ever seen in my life, but that's not important. So, that's a good one. It's amazing. We have another Europe game, which is just wild. We've had one I think the last, 3 weeks or so, which, again, is fun to have. It's great if you have a little window. You get to watch some of that or at least check the score afterwards. We have Jacksonville playing the Rams. We don't really know what to make of the Rams receiving core right now and who is playing and who's not. I doubt that Puka ends up playing in that game. I'm not sure if you've heard anything that I haven't, but it'll be a great matchup. The Jaguars are still one of those teams that people don't really believe are that good yet, but they've got a good record. I think they'll prove it and have a close game against the Rams. I really don't know who's going to win. I probably won't have a side there, but I hate taking against Matthew Stafford, so it's going to be hard to take against the Rams. But that being said, it's a great game to start the Sunday off with.
Yeah, I agree. I'll take early football any day I can get it. I'm excited. I think there's a lot of good lines out there. I don't know about great games, but as you mentioned, I think Rams-Jags is going to be a really good game. Not sure where I'll be at on that one. Panthers visit the Jets. Bryce Young. Jets are 0-6. They eventually have to win a game. I think this is probably a game they win at home. Eagles-Vikings is going to be a great game. I haven't heard if J.J. McCarthy's back yet. I don't know if I would really entertain that, but again, I always enjoyed fading the Eagles. Not because I dislike the Eagles, just because that's America's team really at this point in time. For the public bettors, they do enjoy betting on Philadelphia Eagles. So really outside of that, my focus is on Monday night. Honestly, I don't know that I'm going to be touching much of NFL on Sunday. Just got to gear up for Monday night at 9 p.m. kick. But Houston Texans 3.5-point dogs on the road, travel Seattle. Everybody's been on Seattle for quite some time. It's Kubiak versus D'Amico Ryans. I think it's going to be a great coaching matchup, phenomenal game. So we'll see. But I will have most of my chips on the Texans, depending on how much chips, how Saturday goes.
I think it's pretty clear Vandy is probably going to determine a majority of that. But, that's going to be a great game. I love the Texans in that game as well. They're coming off a bye. Seahawks coming off a loss. Texans kind of in they need to get the ship right again.
Tell me about the other two primetime games. Talk to me about Bucs-Lions.
Bucs-Lions is a crazy game. The Bucs have just continued to play well. Baker has been a stud, and they're going to the Lions, who are obviously coming off a tough loss. I think the Bucs are due for a loss, especially with their decimated receiving core at the moment. But fading Baker is one of the least fun things to do. So I think the Lions win that game. I have no idea about how much. 5.5 is a lot when you consider Baker on the other side. But I do think the Lions are kind of due for another one of their just blowout games. San Fran against the Falcons. I mean, it's just another week of who's playing for San Fran. I really have no idea. But if you have Christian McCaffrey on your team, you're probably in good shape regardless of who else is there. And so I will likely be at San Fran at home. I think Brock Purdy is going to play. We'll see. I don't care who plays. Can't believe I would say that. Mac Jones, I don't think is I'm going to be on the 49ers there.
Yeah, at home, I agree. It's on the road, and a night game is really hard to take an opposing team, and everybody knows I'm a big Falcons guy. But I agree with you. I think I'll also be on the Niners on that night game.
Yep. And then Cowboys Commanders at home. I think the Cowboys actually bounce back this week. I have no idea if CD's going to play. He probably isn't, or no, he probably is what they say, but that can change quickly. I don't think it really matters. Pickens has emerged as an absolute superstar with CD gone, so I think the offense is always going to be in good shape. The defense is always going to be in bad shape, so it really doesn't matter. But I like them to get that win at home this weekend.
Yeah, I agree. And that's really
Also
all
like
I got.
the Broncos. I like the Broncos to at least beat the Giants, maybe blow out the Giants as well.
Yeah, that would be. I don't think the Giants can do it, but that would be something.
Yeah, that's right. Broncos to beat the Giants. I want to make sure I said that correctly. Yes.
Yes.
I know it's a
Yeah.
6.5 point spread, and I think they win by more than a touchdown.
I love it. Well, that's all I got. If there's anything else, fire away. But if not, we will conclude this and get back to it next week. Hopefully, a lot wealthier.
Yeah, and hopefully still in national championship contention for Vanderbilt. So let's go get a win.
Let's do it. All right, brother. Until next time, I appreciate your time.
You as well, sir. Anchor down.
Anchor down.